Bitcoin, we start with daily chart. Just I want to give a quick update. And if you refer to my last analysis, we discussed about the 25K. We mentioned it's a support. We want to see whether the price can break or not. And as we can see the price tag and we see the reversal. No, the question is whether this is the start of the reversal or we can expect the price consolidate here for longer time, then break the 25K. Because if you refer to our analysis, since the price was within this correction, we discussed about 25K the first time, second, and the third time the price tag, there was no breakout. Now we want to see whether the price from here can reverse or not. Okay. And beside that, we discussed about the divergence because we mentioned if the price could break this low or 25K, then following by divergence, any reversal can give us a better trade and for buy. Okay, now the question is whether we can consider this one as a divergence or not, because if we put here, if we consider this low in relative the previous low, if we consider this shadow, there is no breakout. That means we cannot refer to the indicators for the divergence, but it depends on the strategy the traders they use. Some of the traders, they prefer to see the breakout, even the shadow, then they follow the divergence. Some of them not, they consider the breakout of this correction. That means they don't consider this kind of the shadow. Okay, but the best thing is if the price could break this shadow, then we could conform with the divergence, then any reversal, it can give us a better opportunity to look for buy. But since 25K was a support, and at this point, still we can consider as a divergence. Again, it depends on the strategy the traders they use. All right. Now, if anyone wants to look for buy, either they have to see the breakout of this correction, following by deeper correction before they take the trade, or they can put the entry above here, or they can look for flag based on lower time frame. Okay. Now, based on daily chart, we don't see any trade setup yet. And for those traders, if they could get the trade for buy within this one based on lower time frame, at least move their stop loss to break even, because still we can expect the price consolidate here for longer time if the price couldn't break this correction. And in that case, mostly we can see the breakout of the 25K. Anyway, we start with the higher time frame. We want to see what we have been looking for. There is no changes. Okay, and this is for those traders, if the first time they're watching this video. Anyway, based on daily chart, we discussed we're looking for the deeper correction, and this is the targets, and we want to see the breakout of any of these lines. Okay, but based on monthly, we don't have much thing to discuss. And if we move to lower time frame, and based on weekly chart, we mentioned if the price could reverse from here with the breakout of the 31K, we're looking for 37 and 42K. And with the breakout of 25K, we can look for 23,300 following by 21,400. And whether this is the only internal flat as a first one, and this is the deeper correction for continuation, this is the best we are looking for. But we can expect this one turn to a deeper correction. That's why whoever wants to buy from here based on lower time frame, they should have a proper trade setup. That's why at this point, based on daily and weekly chart, I don't see any trade setup, because we can expect the price to reverse from here as a deeper correction. Then we can look for the 23 and 21K. That's why we have to be really careful. Okay, as I mentioned, I don't see any trade setup based on weekly, and we discussed what we had based on daily chart. All right, that's why for those traders, they want to look for buy. We want to see first, we prefer to see the breakout of this correction. Then from there, we can look for buy. Having entry above this correction is very risky, because in that case, we want to price sharply tag, break, and continue with the pair of price tag. Within the first 2 hours, there is no continuation. We should take over the trade, or at least if we can move our stop loss to break even. All right. And if I move to lower time frame, we want to see what we have based on forward chart. Even based on forward chart, we don't see proper trade setup. And even if anyone wants to look, they consider this one as a correction. Either they want to put the entry above here, or if they get any opportunity for buy from here, mostly they should look for trade. If they want to look for buy within this one, they should look for 15-minute. Okay. But for me at this point, as I mentioned, having entry above this one is very risky, because in that case, we want to price sharply tag, break, and continue. And the question is whether we should put here or here or above this one. Again, it depends. Mostly, if anyone looking for this one as a correction, they should put the entry above here, the stop. In that case, we want to price sharp tag, break, and continue. It's not really good trade setup. It depends, unless we see this kind of the move. All right. Then in this case, the best and the safest one is to see the breakout of this correction. Then from there, we look for flag, we take the trade. But at this point, I don't see a really good trade setup. It doesn't mean the price cannot go continue. We don't see the proper trade setup. And if I move to lower time frame 1 hour chart, all right, how we can look for trade. For me, as I mentioned, one of the options is having entry above here, which is not really good. The second one, we prefer this one drop some more. We consider this one as a flat. Any sharp move flag, then we can look for trade. Okay, again, it doesn't mean the price cannot continue from here. We want to see what's the safest way we can look for the trade. And if anyone get the trade for buy from here, either from here, or if they look for, if they got the trade based on 15 minutes, if they want to keep the trade, at least move their stop loss to break even. And if I move to 15 minutes, similar explanation. We don't have much thing to discuss. And as I mentioned, I want to see the breakout of this correction. Okay, if the price couldn't break this one, and start to consolidate here for longer time, mostly for the next drop, we can expect the price to break the 25K. That's why we have to be really careful. And for those traders, if they are holding the trade, at least move their stop loss to break even. Anyway, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.